Well, here's something I don't do very often because I really, really suck at it. Um, every time I go out to shoot nature or scenic shots, I am absolutely horrible at it. I don't know what it is. It was a joke since I've been 18 years old that Ansel Adams can set up a camera on a tripod for me and just ask me to push the button and I would fuck it up somehow. Uh, so, so today I figured I'm going to get outdoors. This is a place I used to fish as a kid. My grandfather taught me how to fly fish here, as a matter of fact. I love the creek here, but I figured I'm going to get out and try to take some pictures since I have this camera that is, well, it's a nature and wildlife photographer's camera. So I figured maybe this is the thing that I was missing all this time in my life. I doubt it very much, but we're going to give it a shot anyway and see what I can do. Anyway, let's take some pictures and see how bad I am at this nature, wildlife, and, well, not wildlife, because I don't think I have the patience for wildlife. There's really nothing here. But let's see how I do. Thanks for watching as always, and let's get to the video. Actually, let's get to shooting, because I really haven't shot it yet. This is the first of it. Oh, and I got this to put on top of the camera, so it's not on my chest, and you can actually see what I'm shooting. I just rigged this up. I don't know how well it's going to do. Good thing that camera that I'm using is waterproof, because it may go in. Anyway, here's the shoot. Okay, so I'm going to start by saying be nice. I don't do this. Yes, it's a piece of wood, but it was my very first shot. I just wanted to, test the camera, test the settings that I had. Now I'm using the 12 to 40 to start and, zoomed in, and I had a higher shutter speed on that. So I slowed down the shutter speed because, the first thing I wanted to try is really how good is this IBIS? Can I get those, blurry water shots handheld? And surprise, surprise, you can. Like, it's sharp. And the water is blurry. I think it was a tenth of a second. I really wasn't paying attention. And I'm not going to give you settings in this because, I just don't care. I'm just shooting for fun, and I'm trying my hardest to shoot nature and wildlife on this little trip I had. It's a Sunday. I figured, it was early in the morning, just go out and enjoy it and have some fun. And this is what I came up with. I'm liking the shots. They're not great by any means, but I'm liking them just a little. So I've determined I'm still not great at this shit. Like, I'm trying to find stuff to shoot, but, in my mind, I've been shooting people for so long, and I know how to frame a person, but how to frame a scene like this, I know the rule of thirds and the leading lines, but when she's out here, you go, what the? I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm enjoying nature. Believe me, like I said, I grew up out here. I grew up fishing this stream and loved every minute of it. You every weekend you saw me in waders out here fly fishing, catching trout. Wow, this is it's a lot different than fishing. How's that? But I'm going to keep trying no matter what. So this is when I went to the car and switched out to the 40 to 150, and I just thought this would be easier for me, to get different areas and different types of shots. Again, I know that there are photographers that shoot nature all the time, looking at this, going, "Why didn't you shoot this?" or "Why didn't you get this angle?" And I apologize. You guys are probably, jumping through your skin to complain, but don't do it. Because, like I said, I swear to you, I think I've been out nature shooting in the past 42 years, maybe 2 times or 3 times. And, this is where I grew up. This, I just wanted to show you, this is the farmland that we farmed for, oh my God, 19 years of my life. And, my uncle, he was here on the left. The house is gone. It actually burnt down with him in it. I know it sounds bad and I don't mean to laugh, but there's a long story to it. And, he was in the Army back in the day. I'm just not going to go into details, but he always said to us, the way you live is the way you're going to die, and I'll just leave it at that. Now, up here on the corner to the left, this was Doc Peters' place, and that was my very first job. He was a backwoods doctor that just did things his own way. If we needed stitches, he'd just come up to the house and stitch us right where we're at. He was really a backwoods doctor, damn good doctor. Don't get me wrong. He took care of us growing up our entire lives. But if we wanted to say, hey, we're sick, we can't go to school, you'd never tell Doc Peters that, because he would do things to you that you would go, oh, nope, I'm going to school. Anyway, but this dirt road is actually named after our family. This is Casco Road. And I've walked this, I can't tell you how many times. And the funny thing is from our house, which is coming up, we used to walk to the school bus 1 mile every day to just get to the school bus, because the school bus wouldn't drive up the dirt road because they said they couldn't turn around. But later in life, we got our driveway widened and huge, so the bus was able to turn around. And up here on the right is where my grandfather and grandmother lived, and where my dad grew up. And that was, we had ponds and streams back there. And the funny thing is, like, the land is beautiful. There's rolling hills, there's streams, there's ponds, there's everything you would want, which is the irony of this is, I still can't shoot wildlife and nature and scenic shots. And I grew up in such a gorgeous place. It just didn't make sense to me. For me, it was always people. But, I do miss the land out here. My brother's still out here, and I still have land here, but I just haven't, got back to it yet. And someday I hope to, and, to build a house somewhere. But anyway, yeah, this was our farm, and, it goes all the way to the right, all the way to the left, and there's 400 acres, I believe we had. But, the field on the right there was hay, and then later we turned it to wheat, and we got this giant combine, which was so much fun to use. But anyway, that's where I grew up. That's the house, the homestead. Now, this house on the left coming up, this was Mrs. Russ. And, this is the funny part. The house that you're going to see, the white, that was originally supposed to be the chicken coop, because they were going to raise chickens. And just a little bit to the left was a really small house. It's tore down now. But the chicken coop came out so nice, they figured, oh, screw it, we'll just use that as the house. And, it switched it over to the chicken coop, which was the house. Anyway, and up here on the right, this is where an old house was. We sold this part of the property, and, a doctor lives there now, but that was the house that was there was part of the Underground Railroad during the Civil War. And this giant hill here is where we tobogganed. I'm just giving you a little tour of the old family homestead because I'm not shooting right now. And, I wanted this for myself as too. This area here is where I got bit by my first copperhead snake. Just, a stupid move on my part. Anyway, so, here's my first wildlife photo. I saw the deer and I was like, oh, wow. And this was a bird just sitting on the railing. This area was, I used to go down here a lot when I was a kid. I'll explain later. But I saw the bird there and I figured, well, if I open the door, he's just going to fly away. So I figured I'll just stick the camera out the door and get the shot. And that's the shot. Oh, yeah. Here I am out in the wilderness. I got lucky twice, and it's really not like wildlife photos, because the first one was on my old grandfather's driveway going into the farm. And there's a deer standing there. Not a great shot, but it's still wildlife with my OM1 Mark II. And then right here, sitting on the guardrail, I got my first bird photo with the OM1 Mark II, pretty much outside of the window. I didn't want to get out of the car because I knew we'd fly away the second I opened the door. So I shot through the window of my car. Then I thought, what the hell? This thing has that tilt screen, So I was able to angle it and put the camera outside the window and get some shots that way. I don't know how they're going to be, but it was still fun. I was able to shoot wildlife. This here, the place I'm at now, we used to call it Death Valley Road, because it's like it's a really dark dirt road coming into this area. This is all kind of swampland kind of stuff here. So I figured this may be a good place for birds. Me talking like this isn't going to really help them come in. But, the thing with this is when we were kids, we'd always come down to this road and we'd bring a spotlight, and you'd always find other kids parking with their girlfriends or others. And we'd shine the light in the window just to scare them. I know it was mean, but it was fun when we were kids. But anyway, that's the story behind this area here. Anyway, I'm going to sit here for a little bit, see if anything comes out. I doubt it, because I'm just out in the open being loud and obnoxious. But it's a nice area, and there may be, something that pops out and lets me shoot them on the camera. So far, this has been a lot of fun, honestly. I really, I'm enjoying walking around and getting some exercise on top of it. Again, I'm really not great at this whole wildlife thing and nature thing, but it's fun to try. And I'm glad to take you on this journey with me, despite how bad the photos are going to be. Maybe I'll get some good ones. A blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. So if I just keep pointing in the right direction and shooting, maybe I'll get something. I hear a lot of birds, but don't see them. That's the difference between a wildlife photographer and myself. They actually know what to look for and how to find them. I'm really not that good. Anyway, let's get back to the shooting. So, yeah, I obviously, with me walking around and talking and, right out in the open, believe me, I don't have the patience. And I only had an hour and a half in the morning to shoot because I had to get back and get a job done. So I figured, yeah, let's try it and see what I can do. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my time out. Now, so I saw this, so I figured I'm going to shoot this, and then I'm going to, switch on that, what the heck do you call it? The focus stacking. So I did a focus stacking shot, and I think it came out pretty good. This is handheld with the 40-150, and I'm using focus stacking. And I didn't realize, honestly, that this lens could focus this close, and be this sharp, but that's pretty good right out of camera. You have to admit, it's kind of cool. I'm enjoying this camera, honestly, and all it has to offer, and going out and shooting wildlife with it, it's like, okay, that's what everybody uses it for. So try it, I'm going to try it myself. But, personally, I like this camera better for, people, but I can see why wildlife photographers would absolutely positively love this. It's so easy to use, and all these little features. I didn't use anything else. Here's a bird in flight. Now, do not make fun of me, okay? It is a bird in flight, and the thing is in focus. It was weird because it just picked it up. So now I went to the little a farm that's close to us. This is where we used to buy our milk. And, they have animals up here that, for the kids and so forth. So I figured, I'm going to get some cheap wildlife shots, and there's some birds hanging around and stuff like that. But it was fun. It was just a blast to shoot here. And the whole day was fun. I saw one of the gentlemen that works here. He's an old timer from here. I was so excited to actually have a human to shoot with this camera. It brought joy to me instantly. And the last couple of shots, I saw a bee on a flower. So obviously, I have to shoot a bee, for some kind of macro shot. The funny thing is I had the macro lens in the car with me, and I just thought I can focus so close with this lens. Why do I need it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed.